Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Gulf Shores City Council Work Session Meeting of April the 21st. We appreciate you being here, and today we will be talking about the agenda and having a discussion about the agenda we'll be voting on next Monday. And this is where we welcome your participation, to answer questions, make comments, anything you want to talk to us about, any of these issues. This is your opportunity. So we hope you're here with questions, and we'll be looking forward to hearing them. So with that, Councilman Harris, anything on your mind today?
No discussion item today, Mayor. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next, we have two issues related to the Capital Projects Department. Clint?
Yes, sir. So the first one I've got here is an amendment to the professional services contract for the Laguna Cove project to Goodwin Mills and Kaywood. And so this is regarding the Laguna Cove Little Lagoon Natural Resource Protection Restoration Project in an amount not to exceed $79,200. And so the background on this, we were awarded a NERDA grant from ADC&R in 2017 to acquire a 53-acre tract of land formerly known as the Laguna Cove Development. And this property has 6,100 feet of shoreline on Little Lagoon and has significant areas of wetlands and other critical habitat. And so the scope of this project includes protection and restoration of critical habitat and wetlands, dune restoration with fish and wildlife, public restrooms, low-impact parking, and passive recreation opportunities such as kayaking, birding, and boardwalks. Back in 2020, the city sent out an RFQ, and GMC was selected to perform the design for this project. And it was originally bid in February of last year, but all the bids came in substantially over budget. And instead of trying to cut the project down to fit within the grant amount, DC&R went back and authorized an additional $2 million in NERDA funding to allow for redesign and construction of the project. And so this is just the vicinity map. This is at the far west end of West Beach Boulevard, right before you get to Laguna Key. And it's those two large parcels right there. And this is the site plan that they did for us last year. And you can see there's an entrance and a little driveway with some parking along it. There's a sidewalk, a couple of boardwalks, a pavilion, and a kayak launch. And the part in red there, we ended up having to cut from that project because we knew it was going to be over budget. And so that's one of the things that we're looking to add back in, along with the restroom facilities that DC&R wants us to add in. And so we have $1,273,440 budgeted in this year's budget, and this is 100% grant reimbursable. And so depending on when we get through, there's going to be a little bit more additional permitting to add that other boardwalk back in. So this may carry over into next year. If not, we might have to do a budget amendment later, depending on when the timeline works out for this. But it is 100% grant reimbursable. So staff recommends authorizing the amendment to the GMC contract in an amount not to exceed $79,200. And I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Clint. Council, any questions, comments? Audience, anybody? Anything? Okay, Clint, one more.
All right, the next one I've got is to authorize a professional services contract for construction engineering and inspection for the East First Street Improvements Project to Civil Southeast. And this is in an amount not to exceed $119,400. And so a little history on this, we received a TAP grant back in 2024 for improvements to East First Street. And per the requirements of the TAP grant, CE&I is required for the project. And AlDOT has reviewed and approved the selection of Civil Southeast for this project. They are on the AlDOT pre-approved list. And this project will include the following improvements to East First Street: enclosing the drainage on the east side of East First to allow for installation of sidewalks between 16th Avenue and 20th Avenue, which is about 1,300 linear feet, to connect pedestrians on this street to schools, restaurants, and the churches nearby, and then overlaying the existing asphalt once that is complete. And this is that vicinity map, and you guys have seen this once before when we came in for the design of the project. So that in red is East First Street, where we're going to be installing the new sidewalk. The blue there shows existing. So there's currently nothing on that street, and there are 2 apartment complexes, and there are a good bit of kids that walk to school here. So it is a needed project. And so this is budgeted in this year. The total cost is estimated to be just over $1 million, and the grant provides $800,000 in funding with a city match of anything over $800,000. And that number includes the C&I cost. So it's basically an 80-20 match. And so staff recommends accepting the Civil Southeast proposal and executing this contract. And I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have.
Council, any questions, comments? The audience, any clarification needed or comments on? Much needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toby, you got some board appointments for us?
Yes, sir, I do. The beautification board had 2 vacancies out of the 4 applications that were received. Miss Linda Bender and Miss Elizabeth Moore were chosen to fill those vacancies. Miss Linda Bender will be reappointed to serve a full 3-year term ending on April 9th, 2028. And Miss Moore will be appointed to fill the unexpired term of John Eastlick, who resigned his position last month. And that term will end September 1st, 2026, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Toby. Council, any questions, comments? Anybody in the audience? Mary Wayne, anything to add? Toby, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have a couple of finance and administration services department. And Marco, I want you first to introduce yourself. So we make sure, I think you've done this before, but I want you to reintroduce to let everybody know who you are.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I'm Marco Bezzawari, the network architect for the city.
Delighted to have him on board. So
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have 3 items today. The first is a request to execute an agreement with C-Spire to implement a network security, access control, visibility, segmentation, and real-time threat detection solution. This agreement ensures secure access, strengthens the overall security framework, provides visibility into connected devices, and simplifies policy enforcement. The benefits of the agreement are that the solution significantly expands network security capabilities. It requires no additional software licensing purchases, and it enables a zero trust architecture implementation. The budget implications are the overall cost of this implementation is $32,657. Half would be paid upfront and the remaining half paid upon completion. Costs will be covered with already approved fiscal year 2025 funds. No additional funds are being requested. The staff recommendation is approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
thank you, Marco. Council, questions, comments?
I have one question. What is it? Zero trust implementation or zero trust something? No, this term. I've
Zero
never heard.
trust architecture, you have to earn access to anything on the network. So it would require conditions be met for any device to access anything inside the network.
Okay.
You are not automatically granted access.
Okay. Thank you.
Marco, is there an annual renewal fee for this?
This one is just an implementation fee.
Okay,
Anybody in the audience, any questions? Next,
All right. Our second item is a request to execute a 3-year agreement with C-Spire for network security, monitoring, incident response, and a 24/7 security operations center. Additional requirements increased our security posture demands, necessitating a 24/7 security operations center, which our existing provider cannot offer. The benefits of this agreement are it would provide a 24/7 security operations center. It offers an improved security information and event management and security orchestration, automation, and response platform. It adds file integrity monitoring, and it would provide instant response for any network security incidents. The budget implications are the IT division already budgets $110,200 annually for our current solution. The new solution will cost $102,000 annually, which would provide a monthly savings of $683. For fiscal year 2025, no additional funds are being requested. Staff recommendation is approval. I would be happy to answer any questions.
thank you, Marco. Council? Audience, anybody? Got one more?
Last one is a request to execute a 3-year agreement with C Spire for a network resiliency, redundancy, and monitoring solution. This solution is crucial to ensuring reliable and secure connectivity for critical city operations. The benefit of this agreement is that it would enhance network performance by optimizing traffic routing for critical applications, improves reliability by leveraging multiple connections, providing redundancy and seamless failover during outages. It improves flexibility by allowing various transport methods and provides monitoring of outside connections, allowing potential issues to be addressed and corrected prior to impacting operations. The budget implications are that this is a new service designed to provide connectivity, resilience, and redundancy needed for effective operations. The total cost of the 3-year agreement will be $41,112 or $1,142 per month. This cost will be absorbed in year 1 by an already approved amount of $30,000 for an existing service that we are not renewing. For 2025, no additional funds are being requested. Staff recommendation is approval, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you again, Marco. Council? Anybody? Well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anna?
Sir, good afternoon. What you have before you is consideration to execute a contract with NeoGov HRIS system that you all passed last year for our new HRIS system. This is a contract to purchase, wait, I'm on the wrong one, aren't I? Sorry about that. Y'all, we got a new puppy. I'm
Just go ahead and finish that
exhausted. Okay, well, yeah, out of order. I appreciate it. Okay, so 15 biometric fingerprint time clocks in an amount not to exceed $52,485 as part of our NeoGov implementation. It will be budgeted via amendment in the IT hardware line. And I'm told that both fingerprint scans and the proximity card badges will be able to operate these time clocks. So happy to answer any questions should you have them.
Thank you, Anna. Council? Audience? Okay, now go back to the first one.
Yes, sir. This is the contract for the employee vital exam physicals. You recently, are familiar with doing the One Foot Fire Department. This is in an amount not to exceed $615 per employee per examination, and we did budget $88,000 within the human resource self-insurance premium expense line. Our HR director, Tanya Wilson, has set up 4 different sets of dates that will be three days each for employees to sign up beginning in early May to have the physicals completed at the Gulf Shores Elementary campus. So we appreciate the city school board's continued cooperation and letting us use some space. And I think I speak for most of the employees when I just say thank you for allowing us to just consider this again this year and having had the opportunity to have them performed the last 2 years. We really appreciate it.
And the employee will be able to pay for their spouse to go through the same thing at a predetermined fee?
Yes, sir.
Include that.
And it is flexible spending eligible.
Council, any questions? We did that last year, or 2 years ago for sure, and the things that we found were serious and critical and in reality saved some lives that very probably, unless they went out on their own, they would not have found these kind of issues. So an important service and opportunity for our employees. Council, any questions or additional comments? Anybody in the audience? And thanks.
Thank you.
Shelby?
Yes, sir. So this is a contract for the site prep and installation of the synthetic turf for the Sportsplex football field. We did open bids on April 10th and received 1 bid. Unfortunately, that bid did come in significantly over budget at $1.4 million. At that point, we invoked the new state public works law, which allows us to negotiate with the bidder. We did that process. Unfortunately, the number was still too high. At that point, we sought informal proposals. We received those informal proposals. That number came down to $930,000 roughly. We value engineered from that point on and got us to a not to exceed amount of $900,000 from Game Day Synthetic Turf. and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions? That's a good job in negotiating. Anybody in the audience with any questions or comments? That concludes our agenda. Dr. Aiken, I see you here. You got anything on the school? I know you do.
We're out for spring break, not a lot going on, but our baseball team played in the first round this past weekend, went up to Montgomery and beat Pike Road, so we'll be hosting second round Friday. And softball area tournaments also start Friday, so looking for big things out of both those teams. And our soccer boys playing first round at St. Paul's Friday or Saturday. So good things going on with athletics.
More good stuff.
Thank you.
Lindsay, you got something, you got a presentation for us or discussion for us?
I just wanted to give a reminder about this Saturday. Our junior city council will be hosting their spring market. We have about 22 vendors that are going to be at the parking lot in Waterway Village adjacent to the sloop. We'll have artists, a few home baked good vendors, and there's a kids corner for face painting. One of the students is going to be doing balloon animals for kids, so it should be a really good event. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, so we hope you guys will come out.
Thank you, Lindsay. Any other staff with any updates? Significant? Anybody in the audience with any questions or comments about this agenda or anything you have on your mind? Yep.
I just want to ask if we had any further updates or any further possibilities of the alley road being reconsidered. I know we've talked about it before and we've had some updates before that did not look very favorable. But, we are getting significant traffic through the square, which we're happy for. I'm happy for our businesses that are in there, that they're getting that traffic, but we're also getting a lot of traffic that is not our traffic. And we're getting delivery trucks and a lot of people making that a shortcut through there that is a great deal of wear and tear on our driveway, on our speed bumps and our gravel, our parking lots, so the things that we're maintaining privately. So just wondering, it would be great if at some point we could get that alley road all the way through. Don't know if that's still on the table or not.
It is not at this point in time, given the issue that we have with utilities that we've already built over in certain areas that we weren't supposed to. So we've got a utility issue that's running down through the middle of where the roadway would be. And other than rewriting some major utilities that would have to be reconfigured, electrical primarily, and would have to be reconfigured at a huge issue of expense and time. So at this point in time, unless we find a solution for that, that has become a problem. And so I'd like to think we can figure out a way to do that because it made so much sense if we can get it all the way through. We haven't given up, but at this point in time, we don't see a path forward right now. But again, continue to look, and because it would be a great asset we'd have for everybody along that area that had to live through a difficult time with us working on the road, and we know that. And that puts additional pressure and intention of trying to figure out a way to do that. So don't have an answer right now, but we don't have an answer, but we haven't completely given up trying to find one. So that's all I've got. Somebody else? Yes, sir, in the back.
I'm Jack Chandler from Meyer Park area. We spoke last year on, I've been told they're not golf carts, they're low-speed vehicles. So what, you were waiting on the traffic survey there to going from the detour from Canal Road. So was only like a half a dozen people that have what I call a golf cart, but it's a low-speed vehicle because they're road ready with lights, blinkers, brake lights. And we'd like to have the same privileges as what I call the rich side of Second Avenue. And we're just the poor side. But
Do you have any update on that? I know Noel was working on it, but Noel's not here. So I don't know that I have a report for you, but I know that we agree with you. That if we can get somewhere we're comfortable with the traffic count and the numbers, we want to have golf carts availability on that side of the road.
It'd just be so much easier on me. I got a 25-year-old truck that I'd like to save. I'd like to just park it, and if I go to, the restaurant or wherever, you go right across Second Avenue up there at the fence, and it should be extremely safe with traffic lights and all that, because we got these, and I don't mean to complain, but these motorized bicycles, motorized scooters that are flying around on the sidewalks, kids under 16-year-old without a helmet. That's a state law. Bicycles are not allowed on the sidewalks. That's a state law. They're supposed to be on the street. And I would think that those the scooter would require a helmet regardless, because I seen one cross Second Avenue the other day. He had to be going 30 and just almost come off the ground. Well, what if he'd have wiped out? He'd been like in 2 kids up there in Loxley that are dead. And I don't have kids that I have to worry about anymore, but I'd hate to see somebody's kid get hit. I mean, they don't stop at stop sign. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the motorized bicycles, they're pretty fast too. And I see a lot of grown-ups wearing helmets, but the kids don't. And like I say, I don't have them. If I got in my boat and went out and didn't put a life jacket on my 2 grandkids, I wouldn't even make it to the pass till they pull me over and write me a ticket. And I think if they started stopping them and saying something to them that safety-wise, I mean, we're worried about those golf carts. I think that's more of a concern than anything along those lines.
I think you make a good point.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything? We'll do this again next Monday night. Anybody got anything else for council? Is there a motion we adjourn?
It's gonna be next Tuesday.
Excuse me? Yeah, we're not gonna have a quorum next Monday, so, some of us have to be out of town. So we've rescheduled that for a Tuesday evening, same time meeting next week. It's not on Monday, it's on Tuesday. Thank you, Toby. So at 4 o'clock right here, Tuesday, not Monday. Hope to see you then. Is there a motion we adjourn? We stand adjourned. Thank you.